Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian, welcoming you to Out of the Park Baseball 22 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Last episode, we had a pretty big off season. We got this guy. He seems pretty cool. And this is our big push. This is our I'd like to try to make the playoffs this season push. And I don't think that's unrealistic. And we might have even been able to do it with Hayes and Tucker. But I think Soto gives us a better chance. So as you can see here, we've consistently improved each season. And we were actually quite close to making the playoffs last season. So I'm really hopeful that we can at least make it this year. And I definitely think that we can. I definitely think that we can. Where were you last season? You played in Double A. Why the heck are you in Single A right now? No, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. He should definitely be staying in Double A. Unless there's something that proves he can't hack it. You know, he did struggle a little bit, but he also crushed A-ball. So I think we're going to start him off in Greensboro. And let him get used to this new position. I really just want to develop his flexibility as much as possible so that I can decide where to play him once he's in the majors for good. Where's my guy? Where is... Oh, Goudry is in the minors. That's right, because I signed Edmund to partner with House. I do think House is going to end up being our at least medium-term third baseman, but I need to see a lot more of him this season. I really do. Otherwise, it's probably going to be Gunnels. And as soon as I feel comfortable that he can handle his offense. Now, there was a definite suggestion from a commenter, which was making Cy Nielsen a full-time starter. And I honestly, now that I take a look at him, he definitely looks like starter material, doesn't he? If I do this, if I set a position to start, he's going to lose some of his stuff. He actually looks fantastic. So I actually am going to make him a starter. Because I think Eddie Yeen is best suited. Actually, you know what? Before I make any other drastic changes here. Pitching ratings. Here we go. O'Harahan is fine there. Is Yeen better than Reed Detmers? Detmers sure wasn't great last season, but also he hasn't pitched for me yet. So I think we're going to go ahead and make Yeen long relief, middle relief. So thank you very much for that suggestion. And then we'll need to find a new closer. What went wrong for Feltman last season? I mean, his peripherals all look identical to the previous season. It just looks like his strikeout rate dipped slightly, but that was it. I think Feltman can be our closer for another season. Because, yeah, wasting Nielsen as a closer when he actually could be an amazing starter really seems short-sighted. So we're going to give him his shot to prove that he can start and make our rotation that much stronger. So who's going to be doing setup work if Feltman is the closer? Probably Solis and Uribe. And then we'll see where that gets us. So thank you very much to the commenter who made that suggestion. The other suggestion that was made is one I'm not necessarily as opposed to. Okay. Which was doing a universal pitch count. And in order to do that, I need to figure out some statistics. Let's take a look at Andy Maldonado, for instance. And we're going to go to pitching stats. Expanded to... No, that's not it. Here you go. Pitches per game. Right here. PPG. Maldonado's workload is incredibly light. He's only throwing 90 pitches a game. We can push him harder this season, and we will. Let's look at a Quinn Priester. It was expanded 1. Again, 90s. $77. So what this commenter was saying was that he liked to give a universal pitch count of 100 because otherwise they'd regularly do 120 pitches. I don't think I can see past game logs, sadly. But it just doesn't look like we're getting anywhere near that for any of my starters. Now, that might have been true for Mitch Keller, and I wonder if maybe that's why he broke down. But it seems like the pitch count is already fairly well managed. And I don't like the idea of setting this universal pitch count right now. But I'm definitely something that's going to monitor, and I'm going to take a look at it at the end of the season. And if it looks like someone's pitch count is getting a bit too high, we can consider dialing down their workload a bit. Nielsen is going to get a pitch count this season. And I'm going to tell you why. He's going to be, for the very first time, a starting pitcher, and I want him to gradually stretch out his arm. I don't want him blowing out his arm. So I'm actually going to put him on the same pitch count as Aguilar. And we'll just have the bullpen fill in. I definitely want Aguilar to give me another season at this lower pitch count. Let him build up his confidence and his abilities. Priester is already 27, and he's already given me multiple 100-plus inning seasons. We're gonna let that keep happening. I'm not gonna give him a pitch count. And I think it's time we took the training wheels off of Maldonado, who's given me 3 innings, basically, of 100-plus innings. So we're gonna work these starters. They're gonna earn their paychecks. Last but certainly not least, we have Joey Burdette in high A, who's a 43 overall, 79 potential reliever. We're probably going to be pushing him quite quickly, but I don't want to rush him right now. I mean, he's better than Yeen, perhaps, but we'll see how Yeen does as a full-time reliever, and see where that gets us. Lineup looks good. So the big storylines this season, in my head, are really threefold. Number 1, how does Juan Soto take his first year for Pittsburgh? If he is anywhere near his borderline MVP level, I almost think we have a playoff spot on lock. And his contract is stupidly expensive, but it's short. And I think it's going to hurt us a lot less than another one might. So that's storyline number 1. Is what do we do, is how does Soto mesh with the team? The second storyline is third base this year. Can Tommy Edman give us a touch of stability and offensive performance to take some of the heat off of Brady House? who hasn't had a huge amount of time at AAA, and I want him to feel comfortable without giving him too much to think about right now. The third thing, and I have no idea how this will go, is Zion Rose. He's in the majors now, for better or for worse. And I want to see how he does this season. I'm really worried about his offensive skill set, though. I don't think it's going to be crazy successful. But we'll see. We shall see. The other plot is interestingly going to be how Blaze Jordan does in extended Major League trials. I'd love for him to hit like 15 homers off the bench before the All-Star break and then trade him. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, Cole Young is a really big part of this team, which I never expected when I drafted him, but I'm glad that I did. If he can keep developing, there's an ever so slight chance that this is the homegrown star that becomes a Hall of Famer someday. No pressure, dude. But you've hit it every step of the minors. You've done very well in the majors. I think the sky's the limit with you, especially if you can improve your contact even more. Noah Smith, there's still a lot of potential here. There's still a lot of potential to be not a Hall of Famer. And as I talked about at the end of last episode, I really regret picking him first overall now, when there were better choices to be had, but oh well. But he's a very good second baseman, and if he could just improve his contact, even by 10 points, I think he'll be a regular there. But we just need to see him start hitting consistently in the majors, and I think that's going to be a big part of his development. Alright, enough talk. Let's baseball. Our first game was an 11-2 victory. That's excellent news. There goes Vargas. Was Sowers, didn't he get taken in the Rule 5? He did. Yeah, I'm just going to send him right back to AAA. I don't really feel the need to give him a bigger role. And I am actually happy that we get to keep Vargas, because I do think he's got a role on this team. It's just not a very big one. We're going to lose Feltman for 3 weeks. That's unfortunate. So let's go ahead and place him on the injured list and call up a new reliever. I can't call up Burdette yet. I need to see him improve and really work on this slider in particular. As tempting as it would be to call him up, I think Williams is the call to the pen. Yeah, this has been our biggest issue, is that our bullpen is underperforming, which seems to be kind of a constant theme, but whatever. You get promoted to 7th inning setup. You're going to be flat middle relief. I'm going to switch your 2 roles so that you're used a bit more in middle relief. I'm going to give you a little bit more importance. And I'm also going to check... I probably don't have any money left. I could sign a cheap reliever if there still was one. Please get rid of this filter. Nah, I'm not going to bother with that. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go and offer Zach Eflin a minor league contract and see if he takes that. But yeah, I'm not. Well, how much are they offering you? I literally offered you the same thing that Milwaukee did. What? What? Game? I will not sign a minor league contract. These are the teams that look for a major league deal. A minor league contract. What the hell ever, dude. You're clearly drunk. Or just insane, and so I will be ignoring you and your ridiculous insistence. Okay. He's becoming a better catcher. That's good news. Soto slipped slightly. Alright, nothing too exciting. Yeah, this isn't exactly what I expected when I drafted him, but or signed him, but I'm sure as shit gonna take it. How are things looking after our first month of the season? Young has been amazing. Edman rather less so. Yeah, our only bad hitter has been Edman. Which is really strange, right? And House has been hitting extremely well. Admittedly, these are both pretty small sample sizes. How are you handling third base? You're at least being an above average third baseman. I'm going to give Edman a little bit more time to try to reestablish himself. But this is not a great start to the season for him. And it's going to make his second Pittsburgh trip even shorter than his first. First, going to go ahead and press... I didn't look at the pitching staff. Hang on. Shame on me. Pitching-wise, I can't really ask for much more from my starters than that. I can ask for a lot more from my bullpen, though. How about you pitch better, please? Yeah, this needs to stop right here. This home run bullshit. Get it together, my dude. Whoa, what the hell? Oh my goodness. So the Red Sox put him on waivers and the Yankees claimed him. I sure didn't see that coming. Wow. Okay. All right, we can get Feltman back. So Williams back to the minors with you. I'm gonna demote Solis to straight up middle relief, and then we'll make Feltman the closer again. And we'll see how this works. We may want to start thinking about acquiring a quality reliever, but I don't know what we'd have to give up for that. Maybe Blaze Jordan? We'll see. Well, that is a kick in the balls. All right. Everyone moves up a spot in the rotation. And Yeen goes right back to the starting rotation. And I guess we call up Williams again. No, I'd rather have Davidson. Davidson's just a better pitcher. And Davidson, you're going to do long relief, middle relief. And then whose turn was it meant to be in the rotation? It was meant to be Nielsen, so we will give Nielsen the ball. I don't know. I think it's a little ridiculous about how often everyone ends up having serious arm injuries in OOTP. Now, I do want to caution, fair point here, that there's a lot of 100-plus pitch count starts. But this is a guy who didn't have a really high pitches per game for most of his career. Like, he was averaging 91 pitches a start. I don't think that's an unreasonable workload for a starting pitcher. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens, but I'm a little bit salty about that. So I'm not saying that he wasn't maybe overused, but I'm saying that what's your jigger? Sorry, my brain isn't working right now. It's distracted by how sad I am. I'm going to send you to AAA. Yeah, I'll have you rehab. I'm not that enamored by you. What was I saying? Yeah, it's not like his pitch counts have been ridiculous. I think it's just... It is what it is. I'm not going to complain too much, but I'm a little bit salty about that. Oh, my point was, I don't think, one difference in... I don't think that that a pitch count of even 100 would have made a difference for him. Okay. There's some decent stuff happening in the lower minors. I'm not gonna dispute that. I mean, Will Simpson is already more advanced than Blaze Jordan ever has been. All right. Now, we have a big issue right now. If I take a look at the expanded standings, we are losing one-run games a lot. It's not as bad as, say, the Phillies. And there's usually two reasons that a team loses a lot of one-run games. Defense and bullpen. So let's take a look. Okay, Feldman is getting his ass beat, but he hasn't pitched that much, so I can't really blame him for it. Defensively, we're good, but maybe not great. Cole Young, I'm really tired of these nagging injuries that you seem to get every single season. You need to start playing all the time. But Tommy Edman at least has figured out the bat, and Noah Smith has also figured it out in the opposite direction. Although, he's actually has a reasonably good on-base percentage. This is just about him making more contact. And maybe he'll figure that out. Cy Nielsen looks like he's had a rough few starts. He's going to be susceptible to home runs. That's his big weakness. Yeah, the bullpen isn't outstanding, but it's also not terrible. I think this is just a matter of getting the right pitchers in the right roles rather than completely overhauling the bullpen. And we also need a little bit more power as a team, but thankfully, John Nelson has continued to provide quality offense from the first base position. He's not as good as he was last season, but I will happily take what he's giving us this season. And then maybe Montesino can try to pick up the slack a little bit more by hitting for a little bit more power. All right. I'd like to make some kind of move to improve our chances this season. Do I go to a 14-man bullpen? No, I don't. No, I'm not going to overreact here. I'm not. I'm going to stay the course at least until July and then decide if there's any particular moves I could make. That would help. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and designate Reinhardt for assignment. I'm not that keen on keeping him in the majors. And I don't think he'd get claimed either. Nothing big there. That loss to the Giants hurts a little bit. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people developing in the wrong direction, except for Abner Uribe. Holy shit. Nielsen's stuff has gotten better, but it's still flagging him as a relief pitcher, which means I can't really trust most of his development. Detmers is fine. Rose is not. Yeah, potential contact is great. I want actual contact, my dude. Soto's great. Jimenez is decent. Montesino and Mina are okay. Sowers is really putting in the work to become a pretty decent reliever, and I appreciate that. Gunnels is improving across the board, which is awesome. Oh yeah, he's having a big season in High A. I think he's earned a promotion back to Double A. And how's Joey Burdett doing? I'm going to push you into Double A also. Holy shit, I got this Oscar Sanchez character who looks like he could be a pretty great reliever. And Nate Hyde. Although Nate Hyde admittedly could also be a starter. And I think that's the big issue, is that a lot of our starters are becoming like possibly excellent relievers, but I'm not going to complain about that. I'm just going to let these guys keep developing at their own pace and then worry about them later. Montesino is fine. Okay, Brady House has been hitting well enough. Whereas Edmund has been really flaky. I'm going to make that switch. But I'm not going to let Edmund hit second. I don't trust him that much. But I also frankly don't know who I do trust hitting second unless I just let House try it out for a while. So House is going to start playing every day, and we're going to see if his offensive performance continues. I do think he's always going to be kind of a borderline offensive star, though. He's really here to play good defense at third and then hit just enough to justify it. Now, how is Zion Rose playing? He basically isn't playing a lot. What I'm seeing so far is fairly encouraging. But I definitely need to see more from him on his scouting reports before I consider giving him this bigger role. Because this contact is just not getting better. And this right now is a recipe for Bustville population U. It's the Blaze Jordan problem, where all the power in the world is meaningless if you can't hit for contact. Yeah, we'll see how House does with a bigger role on the team, but I don't think I have a definitive answer at third base yet. I think I just need to accept that Noah Smith is what he is, and he'll never be what we might have expected he would be. And just settle for the fact we've got a pretty decent second baseman who doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. And yes, he could be better, but meh. How's the pitching staff doing? Okay, Feltman has righted the ship. There's some issues in the middle relief, but otherwise I like our late inning relief pitching. Defense is tumbling. Who is screwing the pooch on defense? I really don't care about the pitchers, but thank you for the offer. It's Andy Rodriguez. My dude, you're picking the wrong year to screw up. Montesino's not a great right fielder if we look at zone rating. Cole Young is suffering a little bit. I think this just needs to be players getting used to their lives. Pulling Edmund out of third's going to help. Montesino, you're supposed to be better than this. I'm just going to assume that you're just going to keep working at it and eventually prove that you deserve the spot. But yeah, Endy, the reason that you've had the role that you have is because you've been a decent hitting catcher that's played fairly well behind the plate. If your offense starts slipping, you're going to get replaced. I don't really have any money to spend on free agents. We're just going to go right the way up to the draft. Reinhardt cleared waivers. I suspected he would. Another, We have number 2 prospect in the major leagues, Garrett Gunnels, who's again struggling in Double A, but I'm sure he'll figure it out. I hope. All right, let's talk personnel. No one on the major league roster's job is in jeopardy. I'm going to offer everyone... Okay, 10 extensions couldn't be agreed to. Joel Hanrahan isn't actually that great as a pitching coach. But the problem is that my best pitching coaches don't want to be promoted. I am not going to keep Hanrahan. We're going to let him walk, and I'm going to try to find a better AAA pitching coach. Yes, he's excellent at teaching pitching, but he's bad at development. And that's always going to be problematic. I don't really want Bennis back, but I already signed him. Too late. Now, a guy like Willington Cruz is definitely the kind of pitcher I'd like to give, or the kind of coach I'd like to give an extension to and see how he develops with more experience. Kid is a fantastic hitting coach. He is. But I definitely want him to come back. Ernie Young is actually a shitty hitting coach. I'm just going to let him walk, but I will try to bring back Bizzardo. He seems really happy to just be the coach in the Gulf Coast Rookie League, but I guess I can't blame him for not wanting to move. Borges, sure. And really, I'm going to go ahead and offer you all extensions. I just really can't be bothered with messing with my rookie league in a big way at the moment. All right. So what could we expect as a way for us to try to break through and start picking up more wins? One of them is Cole Young, whose power seems to have vanished. He still looks like a good player, but he's not what he could be, and we just need him to keep working at that. House is doing pretty well, and admittedly fairly minimal playing time. The problem is I have 2 reliable hitters, and right now they're in the middle of the lineup. And Nelson has taken a big step back from his previous season. This might just be another one of those years where offense is harder to come by. Like, Juan Soto is basically dragging us single-handedly to the playoffs on his back. Which I'm all for, but it does make me worried because I had hoped for more improvement from the rest of the roster. Jimenez hitting home runs is a nice feature that I didn't expect but welcome. Yeah, this is just, we don't have elite level talent besides Soto, and we're having a lot of players do the best they can with what they've got. And yeah, we're just gonna, we're leading the leagues in run score, we're just not hitting home runs. And here's the problem. If I want home runs, I've got a big power hitter sitting on my bench. And if you keep screwing up, Andy, you're going to find yourself the backup. In fact, wait, Zion has lost his power? I don't know if it's just he's not getting regular playing time. Alright, we've got to try, right? We've got to do something to shake things up. Endy has been a bit of a disappointment this year. He's also hitting second. Alright, let's juggle lineups. Let's do this. And you know what we're going to do? I'm going to take away a little bit more of Endy Rodriguez's playing time. I want Zion Rose starting more frequently. And we're going to see if he can do something with those appearances. Blaze Jordan, I'm going to trade you. You no longer serve a purpose. And there's so much more I could do with another opening on this roster. This is just take what I can get. And oh my gosh, I can't really get anything, can I? I'm going to look at regulars, and we're going to see if that changes anything. Alright, if the trade market for him is this bad, I'm just going to go ahead and waive him. And then the question becomes, what position do we really need reinforcements at? I think we're going to trade Tommy Edman. And we're going to call up... Where's my dude? You didn't injure my boy, did you? He'll be back in a couple weeks. I also want to trade Edman at the deadline. I think I got what I was going to get out of him, which was not very much. Trey Morgan would actually be an interesting call-up. Like, he's already a good backup first baseman. He's got some experience at left field. He's not hitting great in AAA, but I think, yeah, I think I want to try that out. I'm just going to regenerate a depth chart here real quick. Is Mina hitting that much better? He really isn't, and Montesino's my only source of power right now in the outfield. You know what? Fuck it. Zion Rose, you're starting. I've got to see what you can do. It's not optional. I have to see. I have to... Because first of all, you're a much better catcher than Rodriguez. Like, much, much better. But second, if you could provide some additional power, it's going to make us just better as a team. Nope. And if starter tired, I'm tossing the keys to Rose. I'd like at least one of my rookies that I draft to actually start contributing to the team in a big way. So we shall see, my dear friends. It's draft time. And we're picking 20th. So we're not looking for amazing players at this stage in the draft. Which is great because it kind of looks like there aren't any. But we'll see. Alright. How good is Jesus Ramirez? He is an elite level potential offensive performer that definitely has the defensive chops to be a center fielder. However, look at this right here. He doesn't have the drive to make the most out of his tools. And we definitely don't think he's a very good. He doesn't have a good work ethic. He's pretty greedy. If you fall to the second round, I'll take a stab at you. But right now, not so much. Josh Baker. We definitely need an elite bullpen arm to draw everything else together. And he would be cheap. He would be cheap. Carl Brown might become a starter. I'm thinking Kevin Wisenhunt. And let me explain why. First of all, he's got a really attractive profile as a starter. He's not very smart, but he is adaptable. He's played at a top college, and his stats look pretty damn good, with a huge strikeout to walk ratio. He throws super hard, and he's got two very good pitches. He's only got two very good pitches, though. Makes you a bit riskier. Compared to a guy like Albring, who's got a higher floor. But he's got a really good work ethic. I'm going to take Albring. Damn it, I was going to take Baker in the second round, but he didn't fall back to me. Oh well. Good loyalty. Not very smart, though. Interesting player, though. Very interesting. It looks like this is a draft with a lot of relatively young players who are kind of toolsy. I'd rather take Carl Brown. I think he's going to be a pretty good reliever and might even be a borderline starter. I'm going to take a stab on Phil Hulse here, unless Marcus Williams impresses me. What a weird pitcher. What a weird pitcher. I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher like this, whose entire strength is movement. I don't know how I feel about that, but he's definitely not a great risk. Applegate is a decent outfielder. I'm going to take Hulse. It never hurts to have more talented catchers in your system. Here's what intrigues me about Talarik is yes, his movement is utter garbage. Like, it's the worst, right? But all he's going to have to do is work on his movement a little bit, and he could... These are all basically lottery tickets at this point, and I accept that, but I don't really have a lot of other options as far as getting talented players. I'm going to take Chris Lipsky for the very fact that he actually plays the outfield quite well. And it's always useful to have players like that, especially when it don't cost you any money. Is there any secret, like, contact hitting masters here? Mr. Garnier seems like a pretty interesting prospect. Omar, I will happily take a risk on you and see if you can figure out how to hit. And then I'll take a look here at Gabe Ratliff, but mostly because he might be an okay pitcher too, and just see how that turns out for us. We're going to go ahead and complete the draft at this point. Here we go. Draft class signed. There aren't any superstars here. I do think betting on Albring is going to be a good bet, though. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he develops. Especially if he can work on his secondary pitches. I think he's got the chance to be in the rotation in a couple of seasons. But we'll see what happens. I had a feeling Jordan would clear waivers. You know what? He is what he is. And I'm not sad I made the trade. I'm just sad that it didn't turn out. And remember, my development system for a while was junk. I think we really failed Blaze Jordan. I really do. Because I think he had a chance to be pretty special. And it's not Jordan's fault. It's we failed him. We failed him. What's this? Hayes is injured again. I am utterly stunned. He's having a good year for New York, though. Nothing huge here. So he's held back by his problems, finding the strike zone, bad stuff, and giving up home runs. What does he do well? Like, what makes him even semi-attractive? Nothing, basically. He is a big kid, though, so there's a good chance he'll develop more velocity, which might fix some of his issues. But I guess I have to trust him, but... man. Alright, bro. And we're going to go up to the All-Star teams announcing. I feel pretty confident that Juan Soto made the All-Star team. Pretty confident. Acevedo made it as a reliever. Juan Soto made it, and literally no one else. That's kind of unfortunate. Alright. Prospects, Nate Hyde. Garrett Gunnels. Yeah. It's fair. I will say, like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know how John Nelson can drop 80 plus, like, 90 points in average, but his ratings are still the same. There's something weird happening here, and I don't like it. Yeah, like... he's still one of the best hitters on the team, and that's what's really sad, right? That's our biggest issue. Is that we don't have proven, consistent offensive performers other than Soto. And I don't know how we're scoring runs at the rate that we're scoring, other than Juan Soto, again, literally dragging this team to greatness. And I'm not going to complain about that, obviously. But pitching staff looks pretty solid. Bullpen is definitely looking a little better. All right. Let's go up to the trading deadline, and then let's ask ourselves some hard questions. So you're going to give me a bad reliever, and you expect me to hand you a bunch of mediocre prospects. You offer me nothing, Chicago. Why would I make this trade? It just doesn't make sense, my dudes. I'm getting sick and damn tired of these nagging injuries, Cole Young. And I know that your injury officially is normal, but you keep having these really nagging injuries that are just taking you away from the team. And I don't like it. I don't like it a little bit. I don't like it at all. All right. So we got to trade Edman. There's no reason to keep him on this team right now. He's just costing money for no actual benefit. And if I can get even an average prospect out of it. You know what, Melvin Mota? Welcome to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Done. My dude, Gavin Goudry, is healthy again. He comes right back up to the minors. Or majors, rather. And I'm just going to quickly regenerate the depth chart. Stop trying to put in Mina just because he's a better defender. Like, he's having an okay season hitting off the bench. I don't see a reason to push him harder than that when Montesino is, again, one of my rare bright spots in terms of power. I'm just going to go ahead and copy these both over because right now there is no difference between the two lineups. And that'll save me some time. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to do this. Do it. And do it. Alright, so we traded Edman. Anyone else I'd like to trade? Detmers has been an okay starter. I certainly wouldn't mind bringing him back. But not for that much money. So I think I'm just going to let him walk at the end of the season. Feltman, I don't know why you think all of a sudden you deserve a mega deal, but I'm certainly not going to automatically give you one right now. There's really nobody else worth trading right now. Yeah, Maldonado is back to wanting one-year deals, which works for me. Alright. Yeah, there's not really anybody else that I could trade and really get anything decent from. I mean, maybe Hudson Head. Oh, how is Trey Morgan managed in the majors? He's done alright. He's hit a home run. That can't be disputed. All right, up to roster expansion it is then. Aguilar's stuff just got better. House's contact got better, so did Young's. Any big changes in the minors? Not really. I always feel like I did James Outman dirty after I went to the trouble to acquire him, but he's been a good organizational soldier. He whitewashed Blue Rocks, but Blue Rocks are so cool. Why wouldn't we just want to leave them as Blue Rocks? Hey, shut out. Holy shit. A no-hitter. Well, damn. Kudos to the commenter who said make him into his starter. You won't regret it, because I sure haven't regretted it yet. Damn, son. Yeah, 80 pitches, 89 pitches. An 89-pitch complete game no-hitter. That's freaking phenomenal. Good work, my dude. I'm trying to speak, but the words aren't coming out right now. How in the hell are we the best team in Major League Baseball? I don't get it. Maybe I'm just being a little bit too hard on my own team. But everywhere I look up and down my roster and I just see flaws. Maybe it's because I'm the general manager. Maybe. But I just kind of see flaws up and down the lineup whenever I look at it, except for Soto, of course. But we've still won so many damn games. Like, a lot of games. And I'm frankly mystified as to how. Look, if Garrett Gunnell's master second base, I will displace Noah Smith for him, because my word, this guy is pretty awesome. And Noah Smith can be a minor leaguer. Or not a minor leaguer, a bench guy. But it's like, I look at this lineup, and yes, Cole Young is having an amazing season. For sure. And Juan Soto is Juan Soto. And John Nelson is pretty decent. And so is Montesino. Zion Rose is hitting home runs. Jimenez is hitting home runs. I don't know how he's doing that either. And I've got a pretty good rotation. And a very decent bullpen. And I just look at this lineup and I shrug. Because I don't know how we're the best team in the major leagues. I really don't. Is Juan Soto just that good? I mean, maybe. We're certainly getting our money's worth with him. Do I want to push Gunnels into AAA? No, I'm going to wait till next season. I know you think you should be playing in the majors, and I'm tempted to do that once you're ready, but I want to see this contact in like the high 50s, low 60s before I finally pull the trigger. Because what Noah Smith is giving me, I can just get so many other places. He's giving me below league average bat, above league average glove, and I've got Gavin Goudry if that's all I care about. And I want more. Now, Zion Rose, admittedly, is performing well as a hitter. Maybe not perfectly. And he's only thrown out... Wow, he's definitely struggling a bit defensively. I don't like that. It's whatever. Do I give... first of all, let me turn Gavin Gunnels back into a second baseman. And I just want to see... Okay, he just looks a little bit more polished, but it's not a big deal. Who would I most like to promote to the Major League roster at this point? You're struggling in Double-A. I don't want to push you. Gunnels and Simpson? No, I don't want to wreck Gunnels' development. I'm not going to call him up now. Probably Williams and Simpson, actually. And then go ahead and give me a new depth chart. Simpson can't even crack the pinch hitter roster. I mean, whatever, dude. And let's definitely get that going. There we go. And then Williams, I just want you to do middle relief. Nadolian, I'm going to take you off of long relief. I'm just going to make you a pure middle reliever. Just because I already have 2 other long relievers, I don't really need you to do that. All right. Nice. Just stop, game. Stop this, Cole Young. Fucking do some more cardio during the offseason or some shit. This is really irritating that you keep missing, like, days here and there. Yeah, whatever. While unfortunate, if I could have picked a pitcher to be injured, I would have picked him. Because I've got a guy like Po Yu Chen who can do emergency starting and more long relief. Priester's home run rate has really spiked this season, which has not been good for him. He needs to stop that. I'm definitely seeing a Hank Scorpio style facepalm right now. Don't give up home runs. Why didn't I think of that? Okay, fuck you, game. You know that's not okay. Like, what the shit? That feels personal to me. To just randomly say, oh, by the way, LOL, Juan Soto's going to miss the rest of the season and probably into the playoffs. Like, dude, how? How can you be that unkind to me, game, after all I've given you? Welp. Hudson Head, welcome back, my dude. It's not remotely what I wanted, but it's what we've got. We've clinched a playoff spot. And now we just clinched the division, so I guess that's good news. Guys, I still don't know how I did this. Normally, I would love to take credit for my team's successes, but I don't know how I did this. I don't know how I won 100 games as the Pittsburgh Pirates. Like, I completely acknowledge that Soto is an amazing player, but he's not that good, is he? I mean, maybe he is. The hell do I know? Burdett's control is getting even better, but then he just missed the rest of the season. So that's sad. I know you want to come back, dude. I'm not paying you $9 million a year. It ain't going to be like that. I genuinely don't know. Friends, I'm looking at the record. I'm acknowledging the record, and I still don't believe it. Like, I guess we got lots of contributions up and down the lineup. So let's actually take a look, right? Let's eliminate the guesswork. First of all, everyone was a positive contributor. Nobody made the team worse. And we got a lot of great contributions off the bench. Noah Smith, you have over 1,000 at-bats in the major leagues. You are what you are, and what you are not is a regular starter on a normal team. Yeah, Garrett Gunnels keeps pushing it the way that he has been. You're going to find yourself out of a job in the next couple seasons. Although he's not a great second baseman. That may be a kind of a downside of this. But yeah, I'm looking at this, and I really don't see where all of this improvement came from. Like, Cole Young, a little bit worse than he was last season. Jimenez, okay, significant improvement here. Because he randomly hit for power this season. Whatever. Smith, same as last year. Montesino, same as last year. Nelson, much worse than last year, although still productive, admittedly. Brady House, fine, I guess. Zion Rose had a pretty decent rookie year. I mean, 14 home runs in 80 games is really what is really good. Hudson Head, incredibly productive when we needed him the most. Now, obviously, you're going to say, it's Juan Soto, idiot. And it may well be Juan Soto, but is it really? Let's look at pitching. I had 4 starters basically pitch exactly the same. I got ridiculous seasons out of the bullpen. Friends, I had not one but 2 relievers who were almost as good as my starters. Uribe was great. Yin was good. Po Yu Chen, incomplete. Didn't really pitch. Maybe this is the secret. After all of our concerns about the bullpen, we traded Chris Bryant and picked up an amazing reliever in Acevedo. Not Acevedo. I drafted him. Yeah, I mean, I got Uribe, who was outstanding. Like, if you had told me at the start of the season that I wouldn't just win the Hayes trade, I would demolish it, I don't think I would have believed you. And boy, I bet the Red Sox feel awful stupid now. Like, I don't know why they waived him and basically gave him to the Yankees for free. But they did. Let's go ahead and go to the start of the playoffs. I'm hoping Soto can be ready for the playoffs. Man, I didn't win a batting title. Oh well. How much longer before Soto gets back? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So we basically won't have him until the LCS at the earliest. First, I got to make sure we make it there, though, right? So let's just, for right now, let's just do some autoplay. I mean, I'd rather see that Soto is recovering well, but okay. Ooh, the Braves beat the Reds, which means I'm going to be facing the Braves in the playoffs. All right. Quinn, I like you a lot, but you are not the playoff caliber starter that you appear to be. I just don't think you have the raw numbers. And I'm really worried about this uptick in home run rate, so I'm actually going to move up Aguilar, Nielsen, and frankly Detmers. And you're going to be my 4th starter. Yeah, we're going to let Aguilar be our starting rotation guy. All right, that's 1 in the books. That's 2. Okay, I really don't need you to stop things just to tell me that some rando is retiring. Ooh. Priester, my guy. Damn it. Come on. I am not in trust. Yeah, Aguilar. Closing my eyes. Yes, we did it. Oh, and Aguilar was clutch. It wasn't the greatest performance, but it was good enough to get the game to the bullpen. And that's all you can really ask for. Alright, we are going to lose Solis, which sucks. But... Booyah! Hudson. You're a good dude. I like you a lot. Oh, and Hudson had 2. Who played left field? I don't know. But what I do know is wabam. I'm just going to copy and paste this. I can't really be bothered to mess with the lineup any. Look at that. And look at Juan Soto, the hero. He's like, injuries. I'd better make up for lost time by going 3 for 4 with a home run. That's good shit. I love it. A Pennsylvania series. That's what the fans want to see. I bet the fans couldn't care less. Ooh. That was a close one. No. Game. Okay, we cannot let them win 3 games in a row at home. That can't happen, friends. It can't. Who got the walk-off? Let's check the game log. Who got the walk-off? What happened here? Opening single for Montesino. Moves up to second. Jimenez got a single. And Noah Smith got a single. Very nice. It's Game 7, and Eddie Yeen is our starting pitcher. Oh dear. I can't look. Damn it. If we would have had fucking Maldonado, this would have been our year. We would have made the World Series, I bet. But can I say it happened again? Literally. How an amazing offensive team just stops hitting once the playoffs start. Like, Soto was a non-factor. Apart from his Game 1 victory. He just didn't matter and when it meant the most. Nelson was fine, but not great. This is... I mean... I think it's fair to call this a disappointing season. In the sense that we should have done a lot better than we did. Once we got to the playoffs. And it was because the starting pitchers let me down. Like, our bullpen was great. But it's like, Aguilar was not good. Detmers was the best of our starting pitchers. But like, Priester was garbage. Yeen was bad. Nielsen was mediocre at best. Like, these starting pitchers that had been the lifeblood of our team all decided that once the playoffs started, they would just stop pitching well. I mean, yeah. And it's hard to say that they were the better team, right? I certainly don't think they were the better team. But a big part of our team's success was our rotation, and the rotation just didn't show up to the LCS. And I can't help but wonder how things would have changed if we'd had Maldonado healthy and available for the playoffs. So it's Houston versus Philly in the World Series, and I can't tell you how little I care about that. So we're just going to go ahead and sim till the end of the playoffs. And there you go, get fucking swept. You should have just surrendered Philadelphia. You should have just been like, you know what, you got this, Pittsburgh. I bet I could have beaten the Astros, but we'll never know. We'll never know. So that concludes the season. Oh, someone on my staff retired. My third base coach. That's fine. Interesting dilemma. Quinn Priester. Is he worth $14 million? And why is the answer to that pretty clearly no? Finances, here we go. Like right now I have no payroll flexibility and we're actually going to lose money. And while Priester has been fine, this was easily his worst season. Like, and it's not particularly close either. We needed him. I guess it wasn't really his worst season. It was just his every season. But he's trending in the wrong way in home runs. I don't think I can pay you $14 million, Priester. I think that's too much. And we have other important decisions to make this offseason. And we'll just have to see what happens. I'll tell you the truth, I'd almost rather bring Detmers back than bring Priester back. So I'm going to go ahead and execute his void his option. And then we'll worry about that next episode. But I gotta say I'm a little disappointed. I didn't think we'd be this good this soon. But I'm really unhappy about how the season ended. And it's really just kind of left me hungry for more and to see if we can make some moves in this offseason. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I can afford to pay Feltman his $9 million either. Like, even now, I have no payroll flexibility whatsoever. And that'll change a little bit. Oh, a Priester becomes arbitration eligible. I didn't realize that. Interesting. But yeah, we're gonna have some interesting decisions to make this off season. Can I afford to pay Durbin Feltman $10 million to be a closer? Almost assuredly no. Is there a better second baseman on the roster? Who's going to be getting raises and who's going to be disappearing from the league? We'll find out next episode. Thank you very much for watching, though. And until next time, this has been Avindian, and I bid you good day.